It was kind of interesting. That same year, at Christmas time, Keith, fascinated by subway ads as mass messaging for a popular audience, noticed a new Johnny Walker Holiday ad depicting train tracks disappearing into a snowy landscape. The white space of the snow inspired him to pull out his handy marker and draw a row of the unstoppable babies he had been repeating above ground. One corner of sky lent itself to a flying saucer that beamed its rays down onto a baby, endowing it with special power, the origin of his now iconic radiant baby. At this time, the crawling person, the baby with the rays, became almost like a kind of signature, Haring said. In the beginning, it appeared on almost all of the drawings. Instead of signing my name, the baby would appear. Within a year, the American poet René Ricard titled a piece in Art Forum introducing Keith Haring and Jean-Michel Basquiat to a larger audience, The Radiant Child, and the nickname stuck. The crawling baby was in perpetual motion. After tweaking more glossy subway ads, Keith moved on to vacant ad spaces covered with soft, black matte paper, which he began to fill with babies and then entire storyboards of his figures rendered in chalk, fragile, impermanent, yet passed by millions of subway riders daily. Enjoying the audiences that often gathered as he dashed off the subway works, turning the act of drawing into performance art, he gave away little white buttons depicting the radiant baby drawn in black, roughly at first and more stylized as time went on. As the buttons became cool accessories downtown, people would stop to see who was doing the speedily multiplying chalk drawings in the subway, recognizing both the style and the symbol. They became this amazing catalyst, said Haring, who found an audience for his work without needing to carry around slides to gallery dealers. When he had his one-artist exhibition at Tony Shafrazi Gallery in 1982, the crowds overflowed onto the Soho street because he was already so well known. His radiant baby was a trademark, a brand, yet also a warm compress of meaning that established his key signature. Haring's humanism, unusually so for the period, was unironic. The reason that the baby has become my logo or signature, he wrote, is that it is the purest and most positive experience of human existence. Children are the bearers of life in its simplest and most joyous form. One art critic wrote of the baby's rays as the first believable 20th century halo. Throughout the 80s, as Keith Haring became a global artist, showing in exhibition spaces and museums in Europe, Australia, and Japan, the radiant baby likewise went international, helped by its legibility as a universally understood pictograph. Factory fresh, as René Ricard had written in The Radiant Child. Spending more time in the museums of Europe than the subway stations of New York City, Keith evolved more painterly styles and approaches. His work hinted at the blocks of color and overlaid black lines of Fernand Léger, the biomorphic shapes of Hans Arp, and the surreal waking dreams of Magritte. Yet the radiant baby thrived in Haring's hopeful art for everybody. Even more extremely than his own model as a living artist, Andy Warhol, Keith Haring occupied a space in both high fine art culture and low demotic street art. When Haring opened his pop shop in Soho in 1986, the store window was filled with white inflatable baby pillows, and among the merchandise at bargain prices were radiant baby t-shirts, buttons, prints, and posters. The week of the opening of the Tokyo pop shop in 1988, he was drawing large babies in thick chalk on the sidewalks of Japan. Diagnosed HIV positive later that year, he initialed the pages of his last will and testament with babies. "I'd never seen that before," his lawyer says. Prior to his death on February 16, 1990, as he became too weak to hold a marker, his final drawings were of the radiant baby. 2 years earlier.